Hello, everyone,
Hi
and welcome
guys.
to the 6 Degrees of Feature Film podcast. I am J.K. Rowling, also known as Brienne, also known as Miss Movies.
And I am Newt's Commander, also known
Sure.
as Stacy Howard. And welcome to 6 Degrees of Feature Film.
Hey, we're
Whoa!
here.
Hey, hey,
It's just
hey.
us. It has not been just us for a long
I
time.
know. Finally, the kids are out of the house. We have some
You
alone
know what's
time.
funny though
What?
is that the episode, okay, so the episode that I'm releasing onto iTunes right before this is actually just us. Did
Oh,
you know that? It's our Ex
hey.
Machina
Oh,
episode.
yeah. I love how you
So,
said es
Ex
machina
Machina.
as if it's like mahi mahi, but I'm just like ex machina. Like I have a really sharp C in there.
So technically it is not just us.
Right.
Yeah. Like it
Right.
has we've had guests that have been
We
on
have friends.
recently.
We've had guests. We're
Yes.
not all alone.
Right.
But we are alone today because you know what? We're doing something different today. We are not really discussing a feature film with 6 films branching off of that. We are going to
That's right.
discuss, each of us, our 6 most anticipated movies of November and December,
That's right.
which is super exciting. We went over our list just now. We have a few that are in common, but a few that are
Mhm.
different.
Mhm.
So we're both excited for some of the same movies, but we also have very different tastes. So we have different ones
We do.
that we're gonna talk about today. So I'm super pumped. I'm excited to see these movies. I'm excited to talk about it. I want to see them right now. I want them out in theaters literally right now, but it's not time yet. So everyone
Yeah,
calm
we gotta
down.
wait. We
We
gotta
gotta wait.
wait.
It's not fair. It's not fair. But it's life.
And you know what? If you are here and you are in the chat, let us know. We'll say hey. You can let us know what your anticipated November, December films
Yeah.
are. We would love to be able to interact with you while this show is going on.
Mhm.
So, hey, check it
Hey,
out.
for sure.
All right, let's start with our first one. So, again, we're doing things different. We're
Mhm.
not doing our regular one and link. We're just talking about 6 films that we're looking forward to in the next few months.
Mhm.
Let's start it off with I had already kind of mentioned at the beginning of the show
Yeah.
that I'm J.K. Rowling. So
Mhm.
I would like to start with Fantastic Beasts and
Where
Where
to
to
find
Find
them?
Them. That's going to be
Yay.
coming out November 18th. And it's about the adventures of writer Newt Scarmander, which is who you are,
Mhm.
in New York's secret community of witches and wizards, 70 years before Harry Potter reads his book in school. I am interested in this mainly because it's going to be in America. So,
Yeah.
born in the USA.
USA.
And I'm very excited about that because I want to see wizards here.
Yes, because as everyone knows, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So, and
Yes.
for those that kind of don't understand what the film is, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's like a prequel to Harry Potter." No. So, Harry Potter is a wizarding world, and within that world there are so many different characters, stories, timelines, places. There's magic all over the planet. So this is one story within that wizarding world. And what
Mhm.
happens in this story eventually becomes a textbook that Harry and them read at school in the future. And
Right.
that we know in the Harry Potter books and film universe. So it's all the same universe. That's all a shared universe, and it's one story within it. But it's not a prequel to Harry Potter in the sense that it has nothing to do with those characters, really. But because Harry Potter is an incredibly profitable franchise, they have to kind of use that name, and I
Right.
understand that.
Of
And
course.
there's nothing wrong with that, but just so people understand like what it is and that it is connected to Harry Potter in that way, that's
Hmm.
why they kind of use that wording and
Right.
put that in, which is smart. I mean, they're not idiots. They know what they got their hands on, which is a valuable product and property, but it is different than what Harry. It's a different
Hmm.
story than what Harry Potter is going to be. But it's that same incredible world. J.K. Rowling, I believe, wrote the
She
screenplay.
did. This is her first screenplay.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
what up, girl?
Mm-hmm.
Nice work.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be
Yeah.
great. Eddie
Killing it.
Redmayne, I'm very excited to see him as the lead
So
role.
exciting. Also, the director directed the first few Harry Potter films,
Right.
I
Oh, wait,
believe.
no, didn't he do the ends?
Oh, did he?
He did like
Oh,
starting at not at Prisoner, but
Half Blood Prince,
yeah, after
maybe.
Goblet of Fire. Half Blood
Oh,
Prince. Yes.
Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, there you
Order
go.
of the Phoenix is 5, and then Half Blood Prince, and then Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Hello, Harry Potter fans. So yeah, he directed some Harry Potter films. I can't exactly remember which ones. Everyone knows that Alfonso Cuarón directed Prisoner of Azkaban, the best Harry Potter movie.
Right?
Yeah,
That's my favorite. He
it is the
wanted to do
best.
this one and he's like, no
Yeah,
one called me.
that's
I'm kind of
bullshit.
sad.
It's the one everyone loves. Screen Junkie said so in the honest trailers
It
for Harry
is.
Potter.
I think
So
it's the best one.
come on, it is. So yeah, it's this extended universe, extended story of this
Mhm.
incredible world that you, J.K. Rowling, have created, and I'm so pumped to see what they bring to the table because it's a property or it's a story that we haven't really seen before. I
Mhm.
mean, I know she wrote the textbook for it, but we don't know what's going to happen. I'm not familiar with all the characters. I don't have this kind of pre or I guess biased opinion about what the movie's going to be because I haven't read a
Right.
book yet. So it's just going to be completely new and different and fun, which is why I'm so excited for it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now, Andrew, who's in the chat, he probably would like to know this as well as you. Ron Perlman is in this film.
Fuck yeah, Ron fucking Perlman is in this. Ron Perlman is
I know
incredible.
you love him.
Mhm. He's my favorite, and he also works out at my boyfriend's gym, and we'll see
What?
him, and he'll be in the gym, he'll be in like the locker and be like, "Hey man, what's up?" And I was like, "You talk to Ron Perlman?" And he was like, "Yeah, he says what's up to me sometimes." So
That's what you
I
do when you're in the
basically,
gym with people.
yeah,
Just say,
I
what's up?
basically know Ron Perlman. I just
You
want
do.
everyone to know I work out with Ron Perlman through osmosis,
He is your
and it
boyfriend.
is.
You have been on a date with him.
I've been on a date with him.
It's
We
like
are
me and
lovers.
Elijah Wood.
Where is my goddamn shoe? That is, of course, from
Now, once
Pacific
they
Rim.
bring this out, you think they'll start to like make some adjustments at like the new Harry Potter world to incorporate
I
this?
I don't know. I'm sure. I mean,
Listen, guys,
woo!
Hufflepuff
Okay,
for
sorry.
life.
Ugh,
Hufflepuff
no,
for life.
Ravenclaw, get away from me
We
with
want to
that
know, listen, we
silly
want to know
Hufflepuff
your
stuff.
house. What is your house? Is it the best
Mhm.
house, Hufflepuff, or is it another house like Ravenclaw and or Gryffindor and
Ravenclaw's the
or
best.
are you evil in Slytherin?
I have a few friends that are in Slytherin, and they're not evil, but they are ambitious and they
Oh,
are a little
uh-huh.
cutthroat.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's a Slytherin for you.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next film that we
Okay.
want to talk about because Wonder Boy is like, I don't want to talk about
Yeah, not
Fantastic
everyone's the
Beasts.
biggest Harry Potter
That's
film
right.
or
This
fan,
is
and
what
I get it. I
happens.
get it. We're super pumped, but I feel like this film is on everyone's most anticipated list because it's such a well loved property. So yeah, let's move on to the next one.
All
What's
right,
your
let's
second one?
the next one that I like and I'm interested to see is Passengers.
Oh,
Passengers, which recently had a trailer drop for it.
I didn't
Finally,
look.
let me just tell you how I learned about the movie Passengers.
Mhm,
All I heard was there's going to be a movie with Jennifer Lawrence and
mhm,
Chris Pratt
mhm.
in space. There's going to be some sort of sex scene. So I Googled Chris Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence sex scene in space. And then the IMDb page for Passengers was the first one that came up.
Mhm.
So I clicked on that and read the synopsis. At the time, that IMDb synopsis was different and they've changed it since. And I think the reason they changed it is because it had a big spoiler in the
Oh,
synopsis. So I kind of know there is a little twist and I know what the twist
I don't
is
know what the twist
already.
is gonna be. I haven't
So
watched
I'm
the
not going
trailer
to
yet.
tell anyone,
Okay,
but
don't tell
so they
anyone.
had to fix that. And then all they had was like a picture. And now they brought out this trailer.
Mm.
I am super pumped about this like little love story between them. I know there's, like I said, there's going to be a twist.
So why are they in
Um,
space?
I don't know, some mission.
They're astronauts.
Maybe it's like they're trying to be it's like Wall-E or something. They can't come back to Earth until it's like
Oh, okay, until it's like
green
cleansed
again or
or
something
green.
like that. Something like
Yes.
that.
Okay.
So yeah, we got that. I really like the robot bartender, which is super cool and creepy at the same
Nice,
time. And I'm
nice.
kind of embarrassed that I like that. But the spaceship kind of looks like my kids did a Lego set and like were screaming at each other halfway through it and just threw it. And then it was like,
Really?
have you seen that spaceship?
No, I
It's
haven't
bad.
watched the trailer. I all I've seen is
All
the
right.
poster. Now I knew about this because there was a whole controversy after was it American Hustle or something
Mm-hmm.
where
Oh,
everyone was like Jennifer Lawrence got paid like millions of dollars less
yes.
than her male co-stars, and so then Passengers is now I think set a record for one of the highest paid female actresses for Jennifer. So I think she
Yes.
got 20
She's
million or
getting 20
something.
million. Chris Pratt's getting 12 million. So
Okay.
it's kind of nice to see that the female is making more than the male because
Yeah.
that's not always what happens.
Well,
But at the same
she's
time, she's done a lot more films than he has.
right.
So I think that kind
I
of,
mean, I know he did Guardians. I know he just did Jurassic World, but she's done more. She's done more films. She's been nominated for Oscars, which she's won Oscars. She did Hunger Games.
hmm
She's been in more property, so it makes sense she gets paid more. So I remember hearing about this film because of the whole equal pay controversy and how much she, and
right.
you know that they boosted her. They negotiated a new salary for her because they were like, "This is bullshit." So I haven't watched the trailer. I'm gonna watch it right
Yeah.
after this. If you want
Right
to watch
after
it
this.
together, yeah.
So, and I do want to say MK Songbird, yes, Keanu Reeves was attached to be the lead, and it was not going to be Chris Pratt. And this was a script that was blacklisted and was one of the favorite blacklisted ones. And so that's why it got out of
Mhm.
that blacklist
Oh, and
because it
now
was the
it's in the
most
green
liked.
because it's
Yes. And
money.
Keanu Reeves was developing this movie as well. So he wasn't
Okay.
just going to be starring in it.
Yeah, I want to see Keanu Reeves in more. I mean, I know I just saw
hmm
him in Neon Demon. He's great in that movie. He's great in
Yes.
everything.
Well,
I
of
love
course.
Keanu. Keanu, I love you so
It
much.
was also going to be Rachel McAdams alongside of him.
Oh,
So
that
there
would
you
have been
go.
interesting. I love Rachel McAdams.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Don't tell us if you
No, but
don't.
I love her, and everyone, you think of like The Notebook and Mean Girls and stuff, but
hmm
her dramatic work, she's incredible. She's the best part of True Detective. I hated that whole second season, but
Hmm.
she was great in it. Okay, so
Yeah,
my
let's go to your
my
next
number
one.
2 is Arrival. Love me some
Arrival.
Amy
hmm
Adams. Love me some Dennis Villeneuve. He directed
Yes.
some of my favorite movies,
Is it
Prisoners and Enemy.
Dennis or Denis?
Denis Villeneuve.
I think it's Denis. I don't
Denis.
know.
He's like French Canadian or something. But him and Gyllenhaal have done some incredible work together, and I love the concept of this movie because I don't exactly know what's going to happen.
hmm
It's something like aliens come, and she's a linguist, and she is recruited by the government to go see what they want and try and
Right.
decipher their language. That's all I know. I've
Okay.
seen one trailer. I don't know what the aliens look like. It's like a ship that's right above the grass. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know a lot of detail. I don't want to
hmm
know details. I want to know nothing going into this movie. I think Forrest Whitaker
That's
is in
better.
it.
I
Yeah.
think that's good because our friend Lon from Screen Junkies said like don't watch anything that's trailer related for the arrival because it gives way too much away.
Okay. I
There
won't.
was like that first trailer that didn't give too much away, but the subsequent trailers have given up a lot more. And he says if you don't know that information, you're going to enjoy it even more. So thanks, Lon. I wish I had come out earlier. I would have closed my eyes during the trailer before whatever movie I was seeing. Storks. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Storks because they wouldn't show that before Storks, but I did
Yeah.
see Storks. So
Why?
as we
Why?
know, well, we talked about this with Tim. I saw it with my daughter. She liked it. So
Mm,
and my son. My son was there too. All
mm.
three of us.
Oh, little
I let
kiddos.
dad stay at home so he could do whatever he
Play
wanted to
video
do,
games,
not
something.
be with the kids. You know how it goes.
I mean, I would skip out on Storks if I could.
Wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I
Okay.
mean,
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, moving on from Arrival, what's your third movie?
okay, my third movie. So I've done Fantastic Beasts. I did Passengers, and now I want to talk about Rogue One, which comes out December
Woo!
16th. Um, I don't think I need to tell many people what this is about because it is a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's just, I'm excited that there's going to be kind of like Harry Potter with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them,
Mm-hmm.
the Star Wars, movies, and now having a spin-off Star Wars movie that's like alongside of it, and Darth
Mm-hmm.
Vader is going to be there. Which
Mm-hmm.
I am a little disappointed that that was revealed in a trailer, and I kind of wish that we didn't know
Yeah, I
that.
wish it was a surprise, but it goes back to the whole marketing thing of like, no, you don't want to reveal it. You want it to be a
hmm
surprise for the fans, but you also need to get people in the seats to pay for the
It's
film. So you
true.
need to show that
hmm
there's going to be characters they love in it. So I get
Yes.
it. And, I don't blame it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of something that's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's happening. I'm excited it's happening. I'm so excited. But I wish it would have been a more of a but also it's not that too much of a shock because I'm like
hmm
if it's a a prequel, about stealing the
Right.
Death Star plans. That's immediately right before what happens in A New
Right.
Hope. So obviously,
That's when this takes place.
Vader's gonna be there. So
It takes place before A New Hope and
mhm.
5 years after Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
So there you go. It is this film's marked as the first time in which John Williams did not compose the live action theatrical Star Wars film musical score. So that's kind of sad, but it's nice that we're opening it up to someone else. And I think this is the perfect time to do it. So Michael Giacchino is taking that, and we'll see how it goes. I did not like the sirens in that first trailer that they had. It was like wah, wah. I
I
was just
like
like,
that.
can we not? There's just too many, too many.
I like it because it made my blood pump. I was like, "Oh, what's happening?" So I was into it. I was very much into it. Okay, so here we go. Moving on. My third one is Nocturnal Animals. So I keep seeing the trailers for this film because I love dark movies. I love
Mhm.
thrillers. I love violence and gross stuff and weird things. And I see the trailer for this movie a lot before movies that I go and see. Like if I'm
Okay.
going to see something at ArcLight, I've seen Nocturnal Animals a bunch.
Can you tell me, because I don't remember what it's about, but I know that I've looked this up and I was like, oh, that could be interesting, but I can't
Yeah,
think of it off the top of my head
of
right now.
course. So, an art gallery owner is haunted by her ex husband's novel, a violent thriller she interprets as a veiled threat and a symbolic revenge tale. This is
Mhm.
directed by Tom Ford. And if you're thinking, Tom Ford,
Tom Ford.
yeah, I
That
don't rock.
song? I love that
Yeah,
song.
I don't grind feeling. I rock Tom Ford. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Tom Ford.
yeah. Tom Ford is a fashion designer, an incredibly talented fashion designer, and he is a director who's super talented and just got a bunch of A-listers to be in a movie of his. He also did one other movie.
Mhm.
His first movie was called A Single Man with
Okay.
Julianne Moore and Colin Firth. And apparently, it was very much like a stream of consciousness kind of movie and very visually stunning and interesting. And it wasn't like a singular story. It was very much like back and forth and dreamlike and past and
Mhm.
future stuff, something like that. I need to see it still. This movie stars Amy Adams, Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Shannon, Aaron Taylor
Okay.
Johnson, Ela Fisher, Armie Hammer, Laura Linney, Michael Sheen. All my favorite actors. Oh my God,
As
Michael
soon as you
Shannon.
said Jake Gyllenhaal, I was like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about
yeah.
now. Of
Yeah.
course.
Michael
How
Shannon
can you
is
forget?
one of the best actors working today. He is so incredible. Everything he does is just quality filmmaking,
Mhm.
this eerie intensity and presence. And I'm very aroused by him when I see him in films.
I know
And I
you
don't mean
are.
it in a sexual way.
I
I
think
kind
you
of do in
do.
a sexual way, but I also mean in the sense where I'm like, who's this guy? Like, I can't help but sit up and just be mesmerized by him. So
Mhm.
I love that he's in this film. I'm super, super excited to see it. I have no idea really what's going to go on. It's going to be like a weird sexual thriller. It kind of the trailer itself reminds me a little bit of, you remember that movie The Counselor,
Mhm.
from the guy, the same writer of like No Country for Old Men, the book and everything. And I hated The Counselor. I thought it was super awkward.
So I was
But the
gonna say, wasn't
trailer
it
for
not good?
it was terrible. But the trailer for it looked amazing. It looked
Yeah, it did.
strange and
It did.
weird. And there's like Cameron Diaz is doing the splits on a car, and I don't even know what's going on. Everyone has a weird haircut. Nocturnal Animals gives me that same feeling where I'm like, it's gonna be a strange, intense, dark as fuck movie, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
That's how this movie looks. And I heard it's incredible. I heard it is
Yes, great
one of the
things.
best movies to come out of TIFF.
Toronto
And
International Film Festival.
there you go, movie lingo. And yeah, it just seems incredible to me. So I am super, super excited. Yes.
Nice. I
So
like it. I like it.
that was my third film. What's your fourth film, babe?
Fourth film. Okay, so my fourth film that I would like to talk about today, and I think maybe it's on your list as well, is La La Land, which comes out.
Yes.
Has like a limited release, and I think goes wide a little bit later.
Mm.
The limited release will be December 16th. This is about a jazz pianist who falls for an aspiring actress in Los Angeles. This is like everyone's, love story.
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this sounds exactly like people I know.
Yeah.
Written and directed by Damien Chazelle, who did Whiplash.
One of my
So
favorite movies.
Ryan Gosling is in this. Emma Stone, J.K.
Mm-hmm.
Simmons, of course,
Mm-hmm.
Tom Everett Scott, and some other fantastic beasts.
Mm-hmm.
And where to find them would be at this movie. Emma Watson turned down the role of Mia due to scheduling conflicts with Beauty and the
Oh.
Beast, while Ryan
Oh.
Gosling turned down the role of the Beast to film this movie.
What?
Guys,
Oh my gosh.
movieception right there.
That's super crazy.
I love
You know
it.
what though? I'm excited though because I can't picture anyone else as Belle,
Right?
besides Emma Watson, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't picture anyone else in this role than Ryan Gosling because Ryan
Yes,
Gosling and Emma Stone have such incredible chemistry, as
they do.
proven by other films they do together. They truly
Yes.
like working together, and this story is, I'm sure one that they've experienced themselves of struggling before they made it big in Hollywood, as
Mm-hmm.
as anyone in this industry can attest to. And what I've heard is that the story is nothing new, but the way it's presented is incredible. And it's like a musical, and there's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be like weird like dance numbers, and they're like dancing in the moonlight and all this like
Yes.
strange stuff that goes on, or different filmmaking. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
it's just gonna be gorgeous and wonderful and sad, and probably too honest about how hard it is to make it,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It'll
It
probably,
is.
yeah,
It's gonna be that.
it's gonna be
Also,
hard to watch
the
if
one
you're in this
thing
industry.
with this movie with La La Land that I'm like is okay. The poster, his hand just looks so awkward. I was like, oh,
I've
they should
seen,
have like recut that a little bit or had him do. As a dancer, you like
yeah,
scrutinize things like that, and I was
yeah.
like, that just looks weird to me.
I
I
have
know
not
no one
looked at
else
his hand
notices
yet.
this, but for some
Mm.
reason, I'm like, no, Ryan Gosling, that wrist is not properly aligned.
Not extended correctly. It has to be delicate,
Yes, like a
delicate,
flower.
delicate as a flower.
So there it is.
There it is. La La Land is also on my. Hold on, let me go to my. What's my fourth one? Oh shit! Sorry, I keep having to unlock my
Mark
phone.
Tordai saw La La Land at the Toronto International Film Festival, if I'm correct.
Oh,
And he says it's his favorite film of the year. Put it ahead of Midnight Special. What, Mark
whoa!
Tordai? What?
Midnight Special is amazing. There's so
Ah,
many great fucking indie films are killing it this year.
this year
They
is
are
the
killing
year,
it.
the year for indie films.
Every A24 film. I just want to give a shout out to A24 and say any movie that they make is my most anticipated movie. American Honey looks great. The
Mm-hmm,
Witch was so amazing.
mm-hmm.
Ex
Green Room.
Machina, Green Room, Jesus. I mean,
Do you know,
everything is
isn't that
incredible.
okay? Isn't A24 like a girl that just like had a ton of money and it was like, you know what? I want to make a production company. I
I don't
swear this
know.
is how
But if I
A24
was like a
started.
billionaire's daughter, that's I've literally pictured my life where I'm like, if I was a billionaire's daughter and had a ton of money and wanted to just invest in whatever, I would just pick filmmakers and be like, hey, I like you. Here's $10 million. Go make it a fantastic indie film and win 2 Oscars for me. Like I would do that.
Mm-hmm,
I've had dreams where I see there's this fantastic movie called, I'm just gonna go off on a tangent right now. There's this fantastic movie called Spring. It's
mm-hmm.
like a monster romance love story. It's so incredible. It's by these two great directors named Justin Bisson and Aaron Moorhead. And if I had millions of dollars at my disposal, I would give them everything I had and say, hey, go make some movies. I would have like a meeting with them at a hotel, and they would be
Just
so
go to it.
nervous. Like an investor wants to work with us. How are we going to convince them? And they would try and go into this pitch, and I'd be like, stop. You don't have to pitch to me. You have my money. Here's a check. Let's just talk about films. And they'd be like, and so grateful for my
Yes. Right.
donation and for
Of
my
course.
love for them, my belief in them, and they would thank me in their Oscar speech. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Nice.
sorry,
Great.
tangent. Back to A24. Cool. Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
and it's only been around since 2012, and it's made some of my favorite movies of the past few years. Like all my favorite movies are
Incredible.
A24. So incredible. Their Twitter game is, by the way, really on point. If you don't follow them on Twitter, they are
I need
sassy as
to.
fuck, and I'm very into it. Sorry, going into
Okay.
all the
Go
time
into
on a
your
point.
next
Okay,
anticipated because let's close up La La Land
sorry,
because that was on
sorry.
your list as well. So
That
I
was
know
on
that
my
one.
list, and so was Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. So I got
Right.
my fourth and fifth. So this is
Uh
my
huh.
sixth, and then I'm gonna
Okay.
have a seventh
Okay.
honorable mention.
Great.
So here's my sixth movie. Technically, is Bleed for This.
Okay. I
Now,
don't know this one at all.
okay, it's Miles Teller plays a box. Oh wait, let me read the synopsis. Hold on a second. The inspirational story of world champion boxer Vinny Pazienza, who, after a near fatal car crash, which left him not knowing if he'd ever be able to walk again, made one of sports' most incredible comebacks. So it's Miles Teller is in it. It reminds me a lot of The Fighter, which I'm sure it's not going to be as good as The Fighter, but I'm always interested to see what Miles Teller does because I think he is a great actor, and I
Mhm.
think he's picked some projects that were questionable, but then he did stuff like Whiplash, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is great. So I'm always interested to see what he is gonna do. And I also am always I hate sports. Like I don't care about boxing. I don't care about
Mhm.
football. I don't care about any of that shit. But there are several movies who capture the inspiration, the heart, the pain, the just dirty, gritty fight of sports that I don't care about, and I'll be
Right.
like, I didn't think I cared about, car racing, but I loved Rush. I hate football, but I love the replacements. I don't care about boxing, but the fighter's incredible. So this, I'm like,
Sure.
okay, boxing movie, Miles Teller. Let's see where this goes. So that's why it's
Hmm.
anticipated for me. It's not that I want to see it so much as where I'm like, that was great. Like something like Nocturnal Animals, where it's totally my taste in film. But this is like I want to see where it goes. So I'm
Mhm.
curious about it. I'm very
Nice.
curious. Okay, what's your
My
sixth,
fifth
fifth,
one, my fifth one is The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which comes out December
six?
21st. This is Brian Cox and Emil Hirsch, and they play father and son coroners who receive a mysterious homicide victim with no apparent cause of death. As they attempt to identify the beautiful young Jane Doe, they discover increasingly bizarre clues that hold the key to her terrifying secrets. This is directed by the guy who also did Troll Hunter. I don't know if you ever saw Troll Hunter, but I
No.
believe it's on Netflix.
Mhm,
It's one of those ones that you were just like, "What's Troll Hunter?" And
mhm,
then you realize like it's kind of brilliant. There's something a little brilliant about Troll Hunter,
mhm.
and I recommend it. I feel like it's kind of a found footage esque sort of film. I can't remember quite if that's how it was, but basically it's just these two guys, and I've heard this is another one where they tell you don't watch the trailer
Mhm.
because it's it's something that you need to it'll give it away. It'll
Okay.
give away what happens. And I
All
had
right.
seen something before. Again, once again, I had seen something before. Someone said, don't watch the trailer. And I do listen to people when they say, don't watch the trailer because I want
Mhm.
to be surprised by what is going to be coming up.
Don't watch the trailer for Don't Breathe. It gives away a great thing in there that was super
Yeah.
surprising. That was bullshit.
And the Red Band
The Red
trailer
Band's
for Don't
awful.
Breathe was so
So
bad.
bad, so stupid. The original trailer,
Is
the
much
first
better,
one is
but
great,
it
and
still
Don't
gives,
Breathe is great.
yeah.
But yeah,
I haven't seen Don't Breathe, but
so good.
but I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah,
So,
because you know
oh,
everything. And the Red Band trailer was terrible. I don't know what was happening.
oh, the
Ugh.
Red Band one,
It was
bad,
the
bad.
Red Band trailer is a studio trailer. That was some guys and cigars in a room saying, "Oh, you know what they should do? I think they should put this one thing in there. The kids will love that." And you're like, "No, stop it."
I have
So
a feeling I know what part you're talking about that gives something away, but we
yeah,
can talk about that off camera because
we'll
I
talk
don't want
about
to
it on camera.
spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen anything about Don't Breathe that might want to see it. And
Yeah,
so there we
yeah.
go. Um,
Anyway, off on a tangent again.
I'm
Sorry.
going to go into since you're done with your sixth,
Hmm.
I'm going to go into my sixth one.
Okay, and then we'll do our honorable mention
There we go.
ones. Okay, there.
Now, a trailer you should watch. I'm saying like right now after the show, you
Hmm.
need to pull up the trailer for Fences, which comes out December 25th. This is starring Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, and it's based on a stage play that was written by August Wilson. It looks incredible. I have chills right now just thinking about the trailer, thinking about watching the trailer for Fences. It's an African American father who struggles with race relations in the United States while trying to raise his family in the 1950s and coming
Ooh.
to terms with the events of his life. Directed by Denzel Washington. So this is, I think, his fourth
Oh.
film that he's
I
directed. I'm
didn't
not
know
I'm not
he's
positive about
directed
that.
any.
His
What's he
first
direct?
film that he directed was Antoine Fisher, and he also
Oh.
directed The Great Debaters. But I feel like there's a
Mm.
few other things as well. I feel like Fences is going to be just based on the trailer has to in some way be nominated for something.
Mm-hmm.
There, there's no just that it's like best performance in a trailer ever. Goes to Denzel Washington. I'll
Okay.
give him an Oscar for that.
Okay. Okay.
um,
Denzel.
it looks like a film that you need to see with a family member. And so let me give you a little background. It opened on Broadway in 1987. It won Tony Awards for Best Play, Best Actor for James Earl Jones, Best Featured Actress for Mary Alice. The revival of Fences opened in 2010, winning the Tony Awards for Best Revival of a Play, Best Actor Denzel Washington, and Best Actress Viola Davis. So they were in the play, and they're reprising their roles for the film adaptation. Um, and August Wilson insisted that the film adaptation of the play be directed by an African American before he passed away.
Okay.
I believe, yes, he passed away, but he did win the Pulitzer for Fences, for writing Fences.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, this movie sounds intense.
Yes.
It sounds like you're probably gonna cry. It sounds like you need to be in a certain mood to see it. Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But could be a solid Christmas Day like recommendation.
It could be because sometimes people want to see like for me at least, because I don't live where my family lives, so I probably won't go home for Christmas Day.
Mhm.
Christmas Day for me is all movies.
Yes.
I'm off work, so I will see 5 movies maybe on Christmas Day. Like I go one right after the other.
Do it.
So, like I saw Point Break, the remake on Christmas Day last year. Sorry, ashamed of myself, but I saw it because I see movies on Christmas Day. It's what I do. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not home, so that's what I got. It's all I have. All right. It's all I have. So yeah, okay.
Nice.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like that it's gonna be maybe like an alternative happy go lucky Christmas Day movie. Like you can see like a solid film on Christmas Day.
See it.
Cool.
I'm gonna say it's probably incredible.
Probably.
I'm gonna guess that.
Probably.
I mean, it's already won a ton of awards just based on being a play.
Yeah,
so
just the material itself. So
there you go.
mhm.
You have a 7th honorable mention.
I have a 7th honorable mention, and this one is an indie film by one of my favorite indie directors, Jim Jarmusch.
Okay.
It is called Patterson. Let me bring
Don't
up.
know anything about it.
I'm gonna read you the synopsis
Okay,
and tell
good.
you a little bit about
I
it.
also have some honorable mentions when you are finished,
Okay.
but I'll just go through those kind of quickly.
Patterson, set in the present in Patterson, New Jersey. This is the tale about a bus driver and a poet.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
It's just a couple. It's a couple. It's a very slow burn. It shows a man that drives a bus, his daily life, and how every day is basically the same, but in small, minute details, it is different. And there's beauty in all the little details. And it shows his relationship with his wife and with his friends and the passengers on the bus and everything. Jim Jarmusch, who of course directed one of my favorite indie films of all time, Only Lovers Left Alive, which is about vampires with Tilda Swinton and
Nice.
Tom Hiddleston and Mia Wasikowska and Anton Yelkin. Oh, R.I.P. And he also directed like Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, and Broken Flowers. And he's got this kooky silver hair. He's always wearing glasses, and he just to give you kind of an image of him, he guest starred on Bored to Death. Do you guys know that show? It's the show with Jason Schwartzman. It's on HBO. It has Ted Danson, an incredibly funny show. Zach Galifianakis as well, and it's about a writer or an aspiring writer who is a teacher as well. And in order to make money and kind of get inspiration for his books, he becomes a private detective. And so he goes on these little adventures and stuff like that. And it gets into, it's all kind of wacky hijinks and everything. But one of the people that he meets is Jim Jarmusch, who plays himself, but he's like obviously an exaggerated kind of comical sense of himself. But he's a director who is like, oh yeah, I'll meet you. I'll read your stuff that you've written. So Jason Schwartzman meets him in a warehouse, and Jim Jarmusch is just riding around in like a red bicycle in a circle and talking to him about film, and he has sunglasses on, and it's like exactly like I picture weird kooky directors being.
I love it.
And I'm sure that he's like that in real life, but he's just fucking cool. And Jim Jarmusch is great. And I mean, everything that he does is wonderful. So I'm really excited to see Patterson because Adam Driver is a star of Patterson.
You like
and
him.
I love me some Adam Driver. He's such an interesting presence on screen. And I love to see the range of work. He did I think oh God, Lonely Hearts, I think was
Broken Flowers.
Broken
We have some
Flowers.
people that are putting stuff out there. Down by Law.
Yeah. A few
So
I've mentioned.
there you go.
Broken Flowers, starring Bill Murray. Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, right. Forgot
Um,
about that.
but yeah, so Adam Driver's done some incredible indie films, and he was, the Coen brothers. He's worked with everyone, and so I'm excited to see this movie because it seems like it's a movie about nothing, but it's also about everything. And there's
Right.
little details, and it's all about the performance, all about the small changes they make, and it's just going to be a really interesting watch, I think. So that's my
Nice.
honorable mention. Those are my 7
Good.
films, everyone.
All right, and we'll have you go through them in just a second.
Yeah.
Other honorable mentions for me, I'm just going to name them. We talked about Arrival. Doctor
Mhm.
Strange, I'm looking forward to. Moana, is that how you say it?
Moana?
Mohana?
Moana?
You know, the Disney
Yeah.
princess. Yeah.
With The Rock
Yep.
and
Yep.
Mhm,
And
okay.
Office Christmas Party.
Never heard of that.
Can't. What?
I don't know what this is.
Stop it. You need
I
to
don't know
watch
what
this
this
trailer
is.
right
Okay.
now.
Who's in it?
Okay.
What is it?
Kate McKinnon, Jennifer Aniston,
Oh.
Jason Bateman, TJ Miller.
It's a comedy.
I'll just read the synopsis real
Funny
quick
Heidi.
since you don't know what this is. When his uptight CEO sister threatens to shut down his branch, the branch manager throws an epic Christmas party in order to land a big client and save the day. But the party gets way out of hand.
Surprise, surprise.
Of course, of course.
Mhm.
It's hilarious. I'm sure there's a red band trailer for Office Christmas Party. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna each go over our 6 films that we picked that are 6 anticipated films of November, December. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is on my list, as well as Passengers, Rogue One, La La Land, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and Fences.
And my 7 films, of course, are Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Arrival, Nocturnal Animals, Bleed for This, La La Land, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, and Patterson. So there you go. I'm
There
so
you go.
excited for Christmas season movies because everything
Mhm.
that comes out, I feel like I'm like, yes, I can't
It's
wait
always
to see
the
this.
best.
It
Those
is the
Oscar bait
best.
films.
Yeah.
I did do movie link tweets for this. I said, "What's your most anticipated film that will be coming out in November, December of this year?" A few people chimed in with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Bernard H. Heidkamp, Ken Carr, and Ben Bellevue. Rogue One, Gregory, Robert Jansen, and Brian. Doctor Strange by Spoopin' Dad, Jose Goyoket Valentin, sorry, Jose, and Lucas. Passengers, Benjamin McElroy. La La Land, Matthew Johnston, Joey Noel, and Natasha. Arrival, Eric Monroe. Galen Towle 2, It Resolves, and Manchester by the Sea by Stephen Malofsky. So there you go. Those are the people that chimed in for us
Nice.
on
Thanks,
social
guys.
media.
Hooray.
Thank you for answering the call.
Mhm.
So we don't have Better with Rocky today.
We don't. We don't.
Sorry about that.
No.
That's
That's
you could always do your Where to Find You in a Rocky impression if you want.
You find me on Twitter at SoHoward2012.
Yo!
Yo! Where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me every day at Miss Movies.
Hooray.
Simple as that. Now, on our next episode of 6 Degrees of Feature Film, episode 55, we're going to have Brandon Jones of Easy Allies on. You can find him on Twitter at Trailer Jones and say, "Hey, I'm excited that you're going to be on 6 Degrees of Feature Film talking Tombstone."
Yeah.
Finally. I've mentioned it many times on this podcast.
And you know what? I still haven't seen it. So I'm going to watch it and catch up.
Hey, and when you do, you can think of that dirty song I taught you when
That's right.
Dana Delaney sings it.
What's it? I will drink from her Red River Valley.
Close.
No?
Maybe we'll sing it again for Brandon. I'm sure he hasn't heard it. But anyways, thank you all for joining us today. We will see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.